this is Marvelous Action Figures, and I'm Paul, and here is another Marvelous Action Figure. It is Snow Job, G.I. Joe Classified, Harlan W. Moore, and he's looking mighty fine. I nearly slept on this the first time round. I didn't get the pre-order when it went up on Hasbro Pulse first of all. There was a lot going on. I was buying a lot of other figures at the time. And then I did go back and I thought, I really like the look of this dude. I really like the snow serpents that are on their way, and I think this is going to go great. I'm a big fan of Marvelous Action Figures being put in snow, such as Conan and Death Dealer, and a lot of fun I've had with those ones. So I'm really keen to do something with Snow Job. And I do think this is a really, really fine figure. In fact, you could say it's a marvellous action figure. So taking a look at the detail on him first of all. So it's a really good paint application on him. There's a great head sculpt here and a really good paint application. The detail around the hood, and you can see here you've got the two-tone effect on the top. Great detail on his belt across the front there, and then even little things like you've got the zip on the arm. Just about to see that they got the zip down the arm here, and the buttons on here, the buttons on the side there. So it's a really, really solid paint application. Slight grumble is at the belt here. You can see that is white on the top there. So maybe the paint could have been a little bit, could have done the brown along it, but it kind of works against the actual white tunic, white jacket he's wearing anyway. So really, really love this two-tone effect on him. He moves really well. So you've got good motion in the arms up to here. That's really good on the arms. And then you've got a biceps with butterfly joint, bicep swivel. You've got double arm bend, double elbow, which comes up to about here. And obviously you've got the gun hands. So that's good range of motion on those. Let's just drop those back down. And then you've got a twist at the top there. Very clever because of the belt design there. So you've got twist on the top and then goes back so far. Good range of articulation in the head. Heads are excellent on this. Talk a bit more about those in a bit. And then you've got, so you can crunch him forward really well, particularly if we're going to get him into skiing poses. And then you've got this double bend on the knees going back, and then you've got very cool ankle pivot as well. So there's a lot of motion for what is a chunky figure. He spends a lot of his time in the snow, bulked up in a big costume. He looks really good and he moves really well. Now he comes with a bucket load of accessories because he's a deluxe figure. Here in the UK, retailing at £34.99, £35. I think that's very fairly priced for what we've got. And let's have a look now at what he's got because I'm going to gear him up. Okay, I have fully accessorized him up. In fact, there's still some bits that haven't been able to actually make the cut at the moment. So there is a hood here. And there is the second head sculpt. And there are his goggles here as well. And as you can see, there's a massive array of accessories. So you've got two guns, you've got his ski poles, you've got his skis, and then you've got his snow boots, and then you've got the rucksack. And then in terms of what I'll do is I'll now sort of de-accessorize him so we can talk through everything. So off the back here, let's start with the backpack. So we'll take the backpack out from him. So you've got a lot of things to hold things on. So you've got his snow boots here, which just sit on with these little connectors there. They go on very easy. So I'll just take those off for the moment. Then you've got these holes here for the poles, and again they just clip in, and they're pretty good. They've got the right amount of bend that you'd want in them. They're pretty good. They're actually a lot better than anything like the torpedo and the Eels harpoon guns. They're actually a lot more sturdy than those. So these are very good, and they also obviously work very well if you want to balance him up as well. So there's two of those. I'll take those out of there as well. Then the backpack itself, limited detail. I mean, there's a good sculpt. The paint application is, obviously what you'd expect from G.I. Joe backpack. Works really well with the color scheme on him. My only sort of slight grumble is if you look down into so it's actually in terms of putting his weapon and storing his weapon in there, you've got to kind of really sort of force it down inside the backpack. So it's not ideal. Now what I've been doing with the skis, and we'll get to the skis now. So let's have a look. So I've got his weapon here in his hand. So I'm just going to take out for the moment. Let's put that down now. So the skis clip on, so you've got the feet holes rather, and then you've got a peg on the skis just there, as you can see, and they sit very well, and they're good, durable, very good. So got enough strength to them, so if you're going to sort of pose them in a ski jump, you can sort of balance them enough and they won't bend looking, you know, too distorted. So they work quite well. I would take it off from there, so we'll just leave him back, just stand up there for the moment. There's no jump, there you go, leave him there. So what I've been doing with the skis is I've been putting the skis down inside the straps on the side. Now they were quite tight. They do need a bit of warming up, and what potentially you need to be careful of is if you're doing that too often, is there's not to damage them. It's not to cause too much friction on them. They do unpop, so that's good. So that's really helpful for getting these on, because if you don't try and force the skis. So here's my pro tip for you: don't try and force the skis down until you've taken off the pegs on the side. And then once you've got the ski in, which you can clip in, then is you can put the pegs, let me do that now, you put the pegs back in, and there are your skis nicely stored on the side of the pack. So they've really thought that through well, so I'm really pleased with that. And I say the guns, if you look down, you can just about see through. There you go, you can just get that in there, you can see through the gap in there. I really don't want to have to force that through, so it sits in there quite nicely. A little bit too high, but it does sit in there quite well. So that is really great. Right, let's talk about heads now, and let's talk about these head sculpts. So for these sculpts, so I'm going to pop this one off. This pops off very easy. Now, in terms of taking out this head out of the hood, I find if you just push the chin under at the bottom, then you can just drop the head through the top. You just lift the chin up. There you go. Lift the chin up and then just bring it straight out. And that's just quite well. And that's really nice hood, actually. Quite nice strength to it. Now, for this head, the goggles pop on to this head nice and snug. There you go. Looking sweet. And then when you pop the head back through, you just need to just sort of line it up so the goggles don't pop too much off his face. So you do a little bit of adjustment back in, and then stick the head back in, and there you go. So there he is, goggled up, which is really, really cool. It's a great effect. So I'll pop this head back off. We'll just put that to the side for the moment. So with this second head sculpt, which is glorious, it's really, really cool. You've even got, if you look on the eyebrow, they've even got the little snow effect on his eyebrows, and then you've got the hood that comes with it. So we're going to pop the hood over, and then we'll stick the second head on. Okay, so that is a great head sculpt. Look really good. My other pro tip is, I wouldn't, if I were you, I wouldn't try and put these goggles onto this one, because it will stretch them. So if we pull this head back out from in here, so I'm super wary about sitting these goggles onto the head. They look okay on the top, but I don't want to force it over too much. So that's probably about as far as I want to put them on. And it isn't great. It's not ideal, to be honest, but I'm quite wary about stretching that too much to the point where it would break. So that is something that I haven't been doing with that figure. But in terms of the amount of accessories and all the gear you've got, it's so cool. It's so much fun. And again, they pop them really easy. So let's just pop his head. Let's just put his head back in. Get him back. Put his snow boots on. So just pop his. Take that collar off. Pop his head back on. So the snow boots, very similar to the flippers you've got for the eels and torpedoes. So you've got the foot peg just there, as you can see, and then the boot slides in and then into the peg underneath. Bit fiddly, there you go. But when they're in, I do like that they're snug, and then they're super snug, and there you go. Put them back in shot on there, and they sit really nicely as well. So they work really well. Obviously, that is helping with posing and with standing them up. I haven't put the other one on, so I'll do that in a minute. You can have a look at some action shots of him. But the accessories are great. I'm really pleased with the accessories. I think there's a lot more quality to them than there were if you look at these, the ski poles. A lot more quality than some of the ones that we've been seeing in recent times. This is a good weapon. It's got good strength to it. That's not going to bend very easy. So I really like that. Good detail on that as well. And then I've already popped his pistol in there. There we go. So this has a really good set of accessories with it. I think for the price of this, I think the quality of the accessories and the amount that comes with it is well worth it. So I have no complaints about this one at all. The only thing I would have maybe liked was a second pair of goggles with a wider band on the back, or even a third head sculpt with the goggles on the top. But okay, it's a minor grumble. For the price you paid for it, I think it's really good. So very happy with that. Okay, so that's all I've got for you today, apart from some hopefully cool action shots of this marvellous action figure. So I'll leave you here with the Bat and the Cobra Trooper, just to give you a little bit of an idea of scale with him. He's a fine looking figure. Very happy to add him to the collection. He's definitely a marvellous action figure. But do let me know what you're doing with this figure. Have you got it? Let me know what you think as well. Let me know what you think of the value as well for the amount of accessories you get, because I'm really pleased with it. And that is it. And obviously, please like and subscribe. And if you are already, thank you so much. I genuinely do appreciate it. Right, I'll leave you with the awesomeness that is Snowjob. And I'll see you in another video. Bye for now.